It's the reason why they bought in Peter Mrazek,
Yeah.
who started in the Chicago game and looked good. He looked good.
At times. Yeah.
At times. It was his first game back. We know groins. It takes a little bit.
Yep. So
it takes a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So the Leafs beat Columbus.
He probably could have used a game against the BJs to help the groin before taking on the Blackhawks. Like, it's really hard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To put your groin against the Blackhawks. Go against the BJs first, warm it up. Go against the Blackhawks.
Lube it up against the BJs. I get that. That makes more sense. But he wasn't ready. The groin was not ready at that time.
No, it wasn't ready.
So
he's still got a chrome bucket too.
Well, dude, don't you worry about that. I'm going to mention that. And I'm going to mention that in 1 second.
I figured you noticed it.
Oh, dude, come on. Of course, I know all about it. So here we go then. Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. The Chicago Blackhawks are in town without Curtis Gabriel. So there was no Michaela sighting, unfortunately.
Unless you went to onlyfans.com.
Yes, so that will be happening as soon as this podcast is over. But so the Leafs blow another lead in this game, but you're right. Okay, to start off, so Mrazek is back with a fresh new groin. Okay, he gets the start of net. The groin is all polished up and shiny, just like his mask, which you just mentioned. And we're thinking, here we go. He's all polished with a fresh new chrome dome. The groin is all fresh and ready to go. Let's in the first shot of the fucking game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He let in the first shot of the game.
So what are you going to do, right? So,
I mean, it was Jonathan Toews. So,
yeah, his second goal of the season. Toews. Camp's got more goal than Toews. But anyway, so, okay, but he settled down after that for a bit. He was really good, I thought, in the second period. But, yeah, man, so it ended up being who got the goals for the Leafs in the first period. This game was fucking kind of all over the place. But, so Toews scores first, and Tavares and Nylander and Matthews got the goals for the Leafs. In the first period, it was 3-1 Leafs. Fucking Engvall scores in the second. Like Pierre Engvall. Just every now and then, Goose comes around and just pops one in. Like, no problem.
He had a great game. He had a great game against the Blackhawks.
Crazy, this fucking guy.
But yeah, he scores. It's 4-1. Honestly, it was 4-1. They still, I thought they weren't playing very good. And Chicago was kind of giving it to them, but I'm like, it's 4-1.
Okay, in the second period, Mrazek was really good. He was making huge saves.
That's what I mean. Chicago turned it on, but with the 4-1 lead, I wasn't really worried until.
Well, there we go. Like, Chicago scores 3 unanswered goals and fucking ties at 4-4. And it's like, okay, so at the halfway point of the third period, it's tied 4-4. And are they going to let this slip? The blowing leads thing is not good. But again, we understand it. The Blackhawks, the BJs, we get those specific games. If you're going to blow a lead to anybody, you're going to blow a lead to.
Absolutely.
So, but here we go. Fucking off of weird play late in the game, David Kampf ends up fucking putting the puck in to make it 5-4. There was a minute and a half left, I think, if that even. And
fluky goal.
Fluky goal.
But Kampf scores against his old team.
Again, Kampf scored in the first game in Chicago, too, to help them. So 2 goals in 2 games for Kampf against his former team.
Kampf loves the Blackhawks.
Oh, clearly. Kampf had 1 goal last year. Now he's got, I don't know how many he's got right now, but he's got 2 in both games against his former team. So I thought that was impressive. And Matthews, another goal tonight. So now he's got a 9-game point streak going. Even though he didn't score in the Tampa game, he did get an assist. So he still has a 9-game point streak going.
Yep. Kampf has 3 goals
this season.
2 against the Blackhawks.
2 against the Hawks. So there you go. But sloppy, man. Just overall.
He has 4. He has
4. Oh, there you go.
He had 3 going into tonight.
Contributing in all aspects of the game. Big fan of David Kampf. Big fan. But so yeah, then to bow tie the week, they beat Columbus 5-4. They lose to Tampa 5-3. They beat the Hawks 5-4, but here we are. They let in 4 goals a game against Chicago. They let in 3 goals a game against Tampa, 4 goals against Columbus.
5 against Tampa.
5 against Tampa, 4 against Columbus. Going back a couple of games before that, the Winnipeg game, they let in 6 goals. They let in 4 goals and they lost to Minnesota. So, like, all of a sudden, they haven't had a game where they let, even the Colorado game where they won 8-3, they let in 3 goals that night. So they haven't had a game in their last 6 games where they've let in less than 3 goals.
No, and that's what I was saying. During their hot streak, it was like 2 or less. 2 or less. Like,
dude, every time
shutting them down.
Chad, every time Campbell was in net, it was 1 or 2 max. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So that there's got to be a lot of things here. Like they were coming off of such a heater. I think everyone's a little tired. They're banged up.
Schedule's been terrible.
Sure. Jack's played a lot of hockey. I think he's a little fatigued. So I think there's a lot of contributing factors here. Cause for concern, though. Like, is this a concern? Like, how concerned are you that now all of a sudden, no matter who they play, there's 3+ pucks going in the net every night?
It's definitely a concern. I think that, like I said earlier in the podcast, you can see the concern with Keefe because he's not comfortable with his defense core. If you're not comfortable with your defense core, that's where defense starts. It starts with your defense core, and then you have your forwards help out. And he's got Hall playing with like everybody. He's trying to find some chemistry somewhere. He had the Hall Muzzin thing. Doesn't work this year. It's not working.
No, it's not.
Riley Brody.
Hall's not working no matter where they put him.
No, and Riley Brody, it's working, but because it's working, you're trying to use them to get the other guys going. So you've got Riley Muzzin, or you got, Riley Hall or Brody Hall and Muzzin Riley. Everything's just in a blender. And then you got Liljegren kind of moving around. He needs to find it. And I honestly believe the answer is you can't put Justin Hall in the press box because Sandin's hurt.
Well, right now they don't. What are you going to do? That's the whole thing. Who are you going to fucking play?
Justin Hall's got to find a partner to play with. Muzzin was carrying him forever, propping him up to make him look good. I said this last year. I said this 2 years ago on the podcast. Without Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall's a 7th defenseman.
You're probably right. And look,
and Muzzin's not playing well.
That's just it. That's just it.
Hall looks like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But on top of Muzzin not playing well, like that makes Hall look worse. But on top of that, Hall's not playing well either, which makes it even way worse.
Right. But if Muzzin's at the top of his game, he can sort of gloss over the whole
for sure
Justin Hall thing, but it's not working. So Justin Hall is just, I don't know what his deal is. He's holding onto the puck way too long. There were times in the Chicago game tonight, he was in the corner with the puck. A defenseman's job in the corner with the puck.
In the what?
In the corner.
Thought I caught that.
Well, when you're playing the Blackhawks, the mind just races.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the corner against those Blackhawks. Well,
when you're in the so he's in the corner, right? He's got his hand on the shaft. But in all honesty, you're trying to kick it behind the net, or you're trying to kick it up the boards, but you got Blackhawks on you. You need to get rid of the puck. I don't know what
that's a tough situation.
That's a tough situation, but
you got a Blackhawk on one shoulder, you got another Blackhawk on the other shoulder.
And what does he do?
If you're surrounded by Blackhawks,
he freezes.
So would I. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
Yeah, but you're not a professional defenseman.
No, but when you get tight in it with like so many Blackhawks,
when you're in the corner with 2 Blackhawks,
I would just give them the puck. I don't even think I would battle for it.
That's basically what Justin Hall was doing.
I get it. He was just
kicking it with his feet.
I fucking get that, man. I totally get it. Like, again, we got to think about who we're talking about here. Like, if we're talking,
Blackhawks.
Like if they were playing somebody else, if it was like,
and I swear one time, 3 Blackhawks.
Well, that's a no-win situation for anyone.
That's where you bang on the glass for them to open the Zamboni door and just be like, get me the fuck out of here.
Exactly. So, the Blackhawks ended up exploding. They ended up exploding for 3 goals. So, it wasn't a pretty sight for Hall once again. Hey everyone, Dale here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're here, why don't you take a look around at some of our other videos? And if you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, we are available on all podcast platforms. You can check in the description below. And if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by going to our Patreon page, and you can find a link to that as well. The Tip In Maple Leafs Podcast.